The man found a way to make money easily. As long as he pretended to be a blind man, he could not only sit at the door of the temple and beg calmly, but also easily get a meal from others. There were kind people who helped him when he crossed the road. He could even live in a government-provided rental house for free with his blind identity. But he was greedy and wanted to get more money. He used his identity as a pianist to play the piano in strangers' homes. Because no one would be on guard against a blind man, he could often peek into the privacy of many hostesses. But he would soon regret his behavior. On this day, he went to a rich man's house as usual to play the piano to celebrate the birthday of the rich man's wife. After opening the door, the woman didn't seem to want him to go in and said that he might have remembered the time wrong. But Akash had already received the deposit from the rich man, and he would get a generous reward after the performance. Of course, he couldn't have remembered it wrong. Just as they were arguing, their voices attracted the attention of the old lady next door. The woman didn't want to attract the attention of the neighbors and had to let him enter the room. The woman let him play the piano after confirming that Akash was a real blind man. He was frightened by the scene in front of him just after the performance began, because there was obviously a person fainted in the living room in front of him, and he also understood why the woman didn't want him to come in. But if he showed nervousness, he would be found out that he was pretending to be blind. So he could only calm himself down by going to the bathroom. In order to make himself look more like a blind man when passing through the living room, he deliberately stepped on the red wine that was spilled on the ground. He was going to calm down in the bathroom before continuing to play. But he didn't expect that this was the most dangerous place, because a strong man was standing behind him. He could only barely pretend to be blind and act carefully. Because of his long experience of pretending to be blind, he did not arouse the other party's suspicion. When the woman helped him to the living room, he saw clearly that the person lying on the ground was the rich man who hired him. After realizing the seriousness of the matter, he became more scared, but in order to ensure his own safety, he could only pretend to be calm and continue to play the piano. The woman standing next to him was pretending to contact the rich man, and said that the rich man would be home in 10 minutes. While Akash was playing the piano, they immediately began to clean up the red wine on the ground and sent the rich man to the bedroom. After making all the preparations, the rich man's wife even walked to the door and tried to create the illusion of welcoming the rich man home.